It's rates for both water and sewer utilities in the state of Pennsylvania are all approved, that is for private utilities, are approved by the Pennsylvania PUC. Those rates are submitted in a rate filing. That rate filing goes through a board of review. They are typically looked at, and in most cases, they go to hearings, which is a long and expensive process. But ultimately, rates are approved by the PUC in Harrisburg. The public has a right to submit comments or to go to Harrisburg to make comments during hearings, but all the hearings occur in Harrisburg.
Okay, so rates aren't set locally?
Oh, no, they are not. There is basically a formula of sorts and procedures that are followed. One of the things that is set in stone with a private utility is that under the law, the utility is entitled to recover a reasonably incurred expenses and a fair return on investment. And in that return on investment is what pays stockholders and helps to keep the private utility afloat.
And you said they can recover expenses as well?
Oh yes, they get all of the normal operating expenses for the system. Okay.
So is it safe to say they can recover or receive, I guess I should say, the operating expenses of the system as well as profit margin on top of that?
There's a profit margin built into their rate of return. The rate of return approaches almost 10% for a private utility.
So in your recollection, do you know what our last increase was for customers from the sewer authority?
Our last increase was effective January of 2017. And
what percent increase was it at that time?
It was approximately 2.5%.
About 2.5% 3 years ago.
Yes.
And rates have held the line since.
Correct.
To be clear, are you saying that the economic climate of a location and the history of that location's rates are not considered in the reasonableness calculation for setting future rates?
No, they are not. Okay. There may be comments from the Consumer Advocate's Office, but ultimately that doesn't carry the day. Are the numbers filed correctly and calculated correctly? And it's the operating expenses plus that return on investment that I spoke about. PUC rate making process, which goes into the detail of the process. I will comment that there is really one line within that document that is probably the most meaningful. I changed the type to red type here. It says, under the law, the utility is entitled to recovery of its reasonably incurred expenses and fair return on investment. And ultimately what that means is there's a formula. And I laid out for you what that formula looks like and how it might be applied in the Norristown case.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mr. Busch. I have no other questions. Do any other board members have questions?